Hello. Hello. Hi. Well, welcome to my Facebook Live. It's the first time I'm taking this public engagement onto the Facebook platform. Can you see me? Hi. Who's here? I see Arthur. Thanks, Arthur, for being here. I have here with me the wonderful people from Eco Dreams. And with me actually is Evelyn. Say hi, Evelyn. Thank you so much for doing this. And there are others, Nix and Company, that's supporting us so that we can be as inclusive as we can. Hi everyone. Grace here. Welcome to Facebook Live. Let me do the introduction again. I'm very fortunate to have the support of Evelyn, who's just next to me. Say hi, Evelyn. And and also there's a wonderful group of ladies. They happen to be all ladies in Eco Dreams. That's Nix and Angie and Shu In. Thank you all. They're all doing signing and also for note taking for some of our friends in the community. Thank you so much for joining us today. Okay, who do we have here? Right. Okay. Before I take questions, I would like to play you a video that's recorded yesterday. It's going to take us about 6 to 7 minutes. I hope that you will oblige and give me the time. And that's really for me to explain a little bit about the package, the budget that we have for the arts and culture community. And we hope that it gives you a better understanding. What are some of the components and why we're having certain schemes. And we hope that at the end of it, we will take questions from you. All right, so just give me a few minutes to get this done. Hi everyone, I'm Grace. Many Singaporeans have been badly hit by COVID-19. Many of you need help to tide over this difficult period. The government has set aside $160 billion over 3 budgets: unity, resilience, and solidarity to protect our livelihoods and prepare for our future. What does it mean to you? First is to save your jobs and to save your companies. Through the Job Support Scheme, the government pays a portion of your wages so that employers can retain workers. Second, we support the self-employed. Through the SEP Income Relief Scheme, or SIRS for short, we give eligible self-employed persons 3 quarterly cash payouts of $3,000 each. We also provide job opportunities and training allowances. Third, we reduce your costs. The government is waiving rentals, deferring income tax payments, and giving property tax rebates. This will help your cash flow. These are just some of the support measures in the 3 budgets. We have more schemes to help our businesses and the vulnerable communities. We want to ensure that no one is left behind. MCCY is supporting our arts and culture sector with a $55 million Arts and Culture Resilience Package, or ACRP. Some of you might wonder, Why is it important to help our arts and culture community at this time? Since the start of COVID-19, many events have been cancelled or postponed. Many who work in the arts and culture sector have found themselves out of work, and we have heard their calls for help. The arts is important, particularly in difficult times. Music, singing, dance, drama can lift our spirits, inspire us, and comfort us. You should continue to have access to arts and make arts while staying at home. While we protect the livelihoods of our art community, we want to help them improve their skills and prepare for a post-COVID future. For arts organizations and employers, you can look forward to the following: 25% wage support for the first $4,600 of gross monthly wages per local employee for 9 months until the end of 2020, except for the month of April, when we will get 75%. There will be additional support for major companies and leading arts groups, and we will announce details shortly. 2 months of rental waiver for eligible tenants on MCCY-owned properties. Up to $20,000 grant for digital projects. There will be more commission work by MCCY and our agencies. Up to $20,000 subsidies for training if you are a major company, and up to $6,000 for other arts groups. For our arts freelancers, you can look forward to the following: up to $1,000 training support comprising training subsidies and training allowance. Up to $20,000 grant for digital arts projects. The sports sector is not forgotten. You will benefit from more than 500 temporary job opportunities as part of the SG United Jobs Initiative. Coaches and fitness instructors will also get to co-create digital content for sport and upgrade themselves through additional training opportunities. As part of Get Active Singapore, Sport SG launched the $2 million Active Enabler Program. We welcome proposals from our sporting community, including coaches, instructors, and businesses, on ways to promote health, fitness, and an active lifestyle within safe distancing guidelines. This is a tough period for Singapore, but Singaporeans are strong when we are united. When we get out of the circuit breaker measures, we will get out of it. It will not be a big leap back to normalcy. Remember how we dialed down the level of activity and dialed up the safe distancing measures over the last 2 months. We are very likely to get off the circuit breaker period in the same gradual way, but in the opposite direction. Relaxation of the measures in a managed way to allow some activities to be conducted safely. We're not going straight back to 1,200 pax performances, but we will gradually increase the numbers from tens to hundreds, to 50, then thousands. This is the time to prepare for alternative safe distancing measures. What can we do if we can meet in the tents? Perhaps training or co-creation? What training courses should we have? How can we conduct them safely while protecting our students? Let us take this time to prepare for a post-COVID future. I strongly believe that the arts, culture, and sports will be an even more important part of our lives. And we look forward to even more exciting works being presented after COVID. Thank you for watching. Keep safe. Keep creating. Hi. So welcome back. I hope that you enjoyed the video. And let me get my Facebook back on. And hi everybody. Like to say hello. We have 492 people that's here. Thank you so much. Really nice to see you here. Thanks for your support.
Kelvin, yes, we've met a few times, but just say hi next time if you see me. Yeah, and some of you says that 乖乖我在家里. Very good. Nice to hear that. You're at home, not going out much. And Jeremy Monteiro, nice to see you here. I really enjoyed your live show the other day. And I was just telling, my friends that you're so wonderful to be learning technology, and you did so well with multiple musical instruments. I think you have your keyboard, you have your organ, and you were playing us so many of these nice video footages. I'm going to take the first question from KH Liao. KH Liao asked, will buskers be given financial support? I think they will be treated like self-employed persons. All self-employed persons can register for SERS, which is SEP Income Supplement Scheme. And if you have been declaring your income, and if income tax CPF knows that you have been contributing MediSave, you'll be getting it automatically. But if you have not been, not to worry, there's a process of applying, and there's also a process of appeal. Our brothers and sisters at NTUC, they have gallantly stood up and offered their services. They know that MOM is pretty busy at this point in time, so they will be handling application as well as appeal. I think they're going to start sometime soon. So watch out for that space. If you are wondering, then always look up ntuc.org.sg. And if you just type, it's a pretty big banner there. I've just checked it out just now. The handsome Ng Ching Ming stares at you, and it tells you what to do. So I think the information is all there, and you can really get lots of useful information. And really shout out to all the self-employed person. This is really a good time to think about NTUC membership. They provide good value for the membership. For very little money, they're giving you a lot of benefits. Hi, MC Wei, nice to see you here. Yeah, and KH Liao also asked about fringe activities. What if I've been affected, if fringe activities have been cancelled? I think it's the same principle. If your income has been affected, you can either apply for SERS that I mentioned earlier, or if you are, say, a commission employee of a company that's in the activities, in the event organizing activities sector, then you can apply for the other schemes that we have, which is a COVID support grant. And that, again, is something that will come out in May, so watch out for it. Time for me to get a sip of water. Edmund, hi. Wayne, yeah, I saw you earlier on. Okay, I think KH has a third, which is encouragement given to performing artists. Oh, I am, today I just been watching so many videos that have been put together by our singers, our musicians, and I think they're doing such a wonderful job collaborating with one another, learning a new way of presenting their work and getting their work out there. I think they are reaching new market segments that they have not reached before. So as I said in my speech, I see that as we are done with our CB measures. We don't know when. We said there's a certain date, 4th of May, but let's just keep our fingers crossed that would be the day when we can all go back to some level of normalcy. It will not be one big step back to normalcy. It will be a very gradual, I believe, gradual relaxation selectively, and we probably again won't go back to having events that is 3,000 or 5,000 strong. It's probably going to be smaller as a start. Perhaps we can start, I think, having classes that are smaller in size, 10, 20s, with safe distancing measures before we move back to bigger and bigger performances. So to all the instructors, artists, performers out there, think about what you're going to do when we are ready to switch a little back down towards yellow. It will not go to green straight away. So what do I do if the government relaxes? What do I do if I can now meet in groups of 10? What would be the best way to reach my students or reach my classmates? How do I, offer training to people that will benefit from my talent, from my skills? I think these are all important questions and good planning parameters that we should think about at this point in time. Okay, Dilong asked me, how do you put video on Facebook Live? Okay, there's this software called OBS. Check it out. It's kind of complicated, but I've gotten a lot of help from people, including Haider and Joanna. Francis To asked about self-employed PHV drivers. Will they receive their 3K automatically? As I mentioned earlier, if the government has your data, if you have been declaring that, you should be able to get that automatically. If not, you apply, and hopefully you can get that through pretty soon. That's going to be paid out in May, so I think give NTUC some time. They will open up for application and appeal soon. So check out ntuc.org.sg for all the self-employed persons here. Samantha asked a question. Beyond the COVID, are there new plans for Arts Resource Hub to regulate and enforce good practices, guidelines? I think Arts Resource Hub is really a center for freelancers. And there's so much that we can do, as you can see from this COVID experience. The freelancers really need a lot of support in many, many ways. In preparing for exigency like this, how do I make sure that I got my healthcare covered? Do I have enough savings to withstand shocks like this again? So I think Arts Resource Hub has a lot on its plate to provide resources and shared services for our freelancers. And I really want to have a shout out to all the freelancers here to think about planning for a rainy day. Well, we are having a storm, but please plan for a rainy day in the future when things are more settled. We need to put aside some savings, some plans that can, help us withstand some of these shocks. Hi, Laura. Happy Easter. Laura says hi from Canada. Laura is a wonderful lady, has been so active with sports cares with us. Okay. Thank you all. Blessed Easter, everybody. Terrence has a question. How do small companies with a director cope with... Oh, okay. I think that question is being looked into by MOF. I think quite a number of you have provided that feedback. So we will think about the best way to do that. Give us some time. It's usually, I think that there's some rationale behind treating directors who are also salaried persons in a certain way. I'm sure MOF will look at it fairly and will come back to you quickly. Will there be NDP in August? I'm sure we'll celebrate National Day in August, but maybe in different forms. We will find creative ways, and we will like the arts and culture community to give us ideas. How can we celebrate the most important day for the entire nation? Yeah, with safe distancing measures in place. Oh, Madam Fuzia. Hi, Fuzia. I'd like to know how to check if the government has their bank account number to receive the fund. So the best way to check is that have you been receiving things like GST voucher in the past? In the past when we gave out some of these payouts, either quarterly or yearly, sometimes $100, sometimes $200, have you been receiving them? If you have, the government would have your bank details. If not, then I think there is a form that you can go to. You can check out, I think it's go.gov.sg, and there's a form filling mechanism that has been just set up today. So check it out, and that's the best way to get your bank account set up so that you will get the payment like everybody else, which is in few days time. I think it's like in 2 days time. But if you do not have the bank account mechanism set up, then you will be getting a check. You still get the money, don't worry, you still get a check, but the check may come a little later, perhaps in a week or 2 weeks later. So don't worry. If I would like to shout out for the younger folks, if your parents are expecting payments and they are not receiving anything before, this is a good time to check. The one important group really is the PR and long-term social visit pass. We're giving some payments to them. So it's good to check out to see if they have their details locked in with the government. Oh my goodness, you guys are coming in with so many questions. George Leong asked for strong support. Yes, we will want to do that. That's the reason why the arts has this special package. Really, NAC has been really working very hard to get the schemes going. Oh, somebody asked me if I'm changing my language. No, I'm not. I don't think so. No. So everybody looks at what I drink and expect me to change language after that. Okay, 會使啦，還是會使啦。講福建話之陣還是會使嗬，一念先。Okay. Nicholas Chu asked a question about Active SG, whether it will be held in July, August, and the answer is yes. And actually have good news for you that Sport SG will be moving this partly online, partly in a different way. So they're actually calling for ideas. We have set aside $2 million to run this Active SG, and we're looking for partners, enablers to give us ideas. We are in a very tricky situation, as in it's quite difficult to plan, because if we are still in some safe distancing measures, obviously we will not be able to do the very large scale events that we used to have. But there again, it's so important for us to celebrate sports, and so important for us to use the value of sports to really celebrate National Day, and to celebrate what values define us as collectively as a people. So we have to find a way that is quite nimble to plan and quite flexible to execute. So instead of a event that has 1,000 people at one single location, we may be able to find like 100 or 50 people in 10 places or 20 places, if you know what I mean. So having kind of modular organization that allows us to really flexibly and nimbly respond to the situation then is what we will be looking for. And any innovative way that we can celebrate sports during the National Day period will be what we're looking for. And we have set aside money to commission companies to do that. Hi, Edward. You're a freelancer. Grateful for ARH. Thank you. Yeah, I understand that. Yes, I intended to visit our ARH. Thank you so much for being so appreciative of them. But when things are a little bit better, I'll definitely visit ARH and to tell them that good job. They're doing a wonderful job, and really set up. When we were setting up ARH, we didn't expect that they will have so much workload and catering to such a large group of freelancers. But I think it's just as well that we had it set up before COVID hit us. And I think this is really fortuitous that we have ARH to support all the freelancers. Angela Koo, yes, thank you for supporting PR, getting the $300. Can someone get help when you just resigned? Well, technically, when you've just resigned, you do not fall into the help scheme. But if you can show that you resigned because the company has no income because of COVID, you can try to apply for the COVID support grant. Okay, we have Zue, was a dancer, dancers advocacy group. Hi, that have led to be cancelled. Well, we have asked NAC and also the government agencies to take more generous position to help our groups, our dance groups, especially when we are venue owners. And I encourage you to have the discussion with the contractor party, so that they can understand your situation better, and hopefully you can come up with some sort of win-win, mutually beneficial arrangements. Hui Hui, hi, happy Easter Day. Remy, wife, PR, yes, she gets the $300. Mei Hui, yes, if you want to take up the course in sports science, this is a good time. It's always a good time to upgrade ourselves, because sports is actually moving very quickly. And in the area of high performance sports, I recognize your name, so I know that you're in football. It's really competitive, and it's to really be up there. It's about science on nutrition, science on physics, science on physiology, science on sleep. So it's great. It's always great for coaches to upgrade. And this is a wonderful time, maybe not this 4 weeks, but immediately after this, if we can have some level of activity, as I said, maybe we can allow classes of 20 to be held. That's where I think we can really put up your hands and say, look, I really want this course in this area. And with Coach SG, make that request, organize yourself in that whatever class size, so that when the light is turned on, we can immediately get into action and have some training going on. Even when large scale events like the football league may still be suspended, we can definitely do a lot to upgrade ourselves and also keep ourselves sane, right? I mean, how long can we keep ourselves in this room? So might as well get out there and learn something useful. Event company, 75%. Yes, I think for this month, everybody is getting 75%. And for event company, I will suggest that you have a discussion with STB. I believe they are the sector lead for event and the MICE sector. Yeah, thank you, Dennis, for telling us it's gogov.sg/SPSC to update bank details. Yep, Adib, thank you. Yes, there's a channel for SEP. As I, really encourage all the SEPs that if there's any good thing that comes out of this COVID, is really that you have to look after your own interests in the long run, because we're going to go through ups and downs in lives. This is a very major down. Nobody, could see this coming, but there will be ups and downs in your life in the future. So we have to think about how to protect yourself and the family. So this is really in a way, it's a wake-up call for us to look at saving a bit for the future, saving a bit for old age, saving a bit for the time when we are ill. So we really need to put aside money. So please don't look at MediSave as something like, it's like a bad word or a bad scheme. It's really to help save for the rainy days. I hope that all the self-employed people will come in, minimally look at NTUC and join NTUC as a union member, so that you can get some level of protection and support. Okay, I'm not going to answer this question again. There are quite a few about business owners that are also receiving employees. As I mentioned again, something that we're looking at it. We're looking at it, holistically, and we'll, come back when we have the decision. Um, mm, oh dear, you are in UK, Dr. Joshua. Okay, why don't you send me an email or something, because that's not something that I can help you on air. Send me an email at grace_fool@mccy.gov.sg. Can I request for Singapore? Sorry, my iPad's jumping a bit. Sean, um, to be included. No, I think the help for the PR is a limited one, because actually we debated a lot as to whether PR should be in the help. As it is, this package is costing us $160 billion. And this month alone is costing everyone. It's not costing the government, it's costing everyone $5 billion. So we really can't afford to expand the scheme too widely. And permanent residents, they are here because of, they have, they brought along their talents. So we hope that they will have the ability to look after themselves. Singapore citizens, we have to because they are part of us. They can't go anywhere. So we hope that you understand why we need to focus our financial resources, our firepower, so to speak, and really give a lot of help. There's so many Singaporean companies out there that are struggling. On the other hand, if there are PR that's supporting either some art organizations, theaters who are thinking about applying for the grants, we do have grants that will allow us to commission work, to do digital projects, and companies can benefit from that, indirectly benefiting a PR who has been employed. So although there's no cash payout per se in the arts and cultural package, but we hope that when we have the grants to commission work or to digitize some of the projects, it will also benefit the ecosystem. Um, Joe Tan asked about whether we can use the same method requiring the landlords to pass monetary support to tenants to also use it for event company to freelancers. It's actually not envisaged for that law, the piece of legislation, to be used so widely onto so many cases. As you can imagine, that it will result in many sort of claims and so on. So the freelancers, the best support for you is really to get yourself into SIRS, and also watch out for NAC's notification. We are giving you training. Not only are you able to get subsidy for training, you're able to get training allowance. On top of that, if you're interested to do digitalization projects, we have also project that's available to you. So look at these scheme as the best avenues for help, and not looking at claiming from your event company. Although we would suggest for all event company to be fair to freelancers. And as DPM Heng has said, the budget is a very large one to help companies, and we really hope that the companies will also be fair to the employees and pass down, some of these job support scheme, so that everybody in it together supporting one another. Johnny Tay, government predicting when life will be normal. Actually, it is very difficult to predict. As you can imagine, this is a global pandemic. It's just not a regional one. So, we have to look at the the infection situation, the trend outside Singapore, because we are a very open city. We depend on international trade a fair bit. So it is important for us to not just look at our own public health situation, but also keep an eye on what's going outside the border. And as I mentioned, I know that some of the young people, right, they're having this countdown machine that says that, okay, there's 21 days to go and so on. I think we should just tell them that it's not going to be like, oh, 0 day and we're going to have a party. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be a very gradual dial up. It's going to be a gradual relaxation. So as I keep, probably it's the second or third time that I'm saying this, please plan for that day. When we say yes, we're allowing selective group meeting, we're allowing selective classes, small size. We urge you to think about how you can organize it so that it is safe. Because the last thing we want is to have another class of dance or music or orchestra, and then to have a cluster happening there. And that will, again, make us go back to a dark orange again. So it is important for every one of us, whether in sports or in arts or in culture, in creative industry, to plan now. If I were to have a yoga class of 10, how can I do it better so that it's safe and it's that the students are not mingling, they're not having their coffee after the class. Have all these in place so that we can be more resilient when we decide to relax the measures. Yeah, Jason has this question about mask. Yes, I think that you're right in the sense that we're telling everybody that there's no need to wear mask if you're healthy. But that was like at the start of COVID, and at that time we were getting cases in the single digit or tens. But now I think the community spread is something that we're very worried about. And so we are, and because we are taking such drastic measures in this month, we just want to make sure that this month really works for us and is really effective, because this is really a collective sacrifice for everyone. Everyone is making adjustments, painful adjustments, so that we can break the infection. So in order to make it work, let's do whatever we can, whether it's mask, whether it's reducing your exercise regime, not to exercise with your frisbee friends, or not to play, what is that, remote aeroplane. Stop all that, please, and just really take the mantra, don't go out unless necessary. When we get through this effectively, then we can look forward to dialing up and in easing up the measures. If we are still half-hearted, if people are still insisting of their previous lifestyle, then I think this 1 month may be wasted, so that's the biggest worry. So please wear masks if you can, and make your own mask if you have time now. By the way, if you are residents of Yuhua, we have free masks being given out. Please sign up look at my Facebook post. I have a post that tells you how to sign up for mask that is sewn by our ladies in Yuhua. Yay! Max asked about claim, MSF claim for $500 more than a week. Actually, if you have indicated the bank account, you should get it like pretty soon. 2-3 days to get the application approved, another 2-3 days to get that paid into your PayNow. But if you have no PayNow and you're using check, then I'm sorry, you have to wait for a week. So please sign on to PayNow. Let's go electronic, okay? Chanjin is here. Oh, hi, Chanjin. Don't ask difficult questions, okay? Sanitizer, right now it's quite hard to do distribution. We also want to protect our PA staff, our CC staff. So I think the last thing they were doing was the mask. They just ended this afternoon. I think there's a core group of people that is helping us with financial application. But after that, we really should ask our staff to stay home as well. Heng Loon, I saw your suggestion. Let me see. You wanted ARH to set up some sort of hotline, some sort of platform. Yeah, good suggestion. We'll see what they can do. I will take that suggestion on board. What's the time now? 9:40. Hey, if you all want to talk to Chuan Jin, I suggest that you take it offline and go to his page. Why are you all gate crashing my live Facebook live? Chuan Jin set up a separate channel. If someone sit only by himself, will he be fined $300? Actually, just ignore the legal part of it and go to the substance. I urge everybody to consider the spirit of the law, which is really to say that unless you have good reason, please stay home. So if you're alone, why do you want to sit around? Why is that even important? Because if there's community spread, the viruses can be on the railings, can be on the public seats, it can be on the table that someone have just eaten on. And the more you're out there in these social spaces, the more likelihood that you are going to touch these surfaces. And if you're sitting there longer, the likelihood is that you're going to touch your face, you're going to twitch your nose, you're going to rub your ears, and that's how the virus get into you. So can you all just don't look at technicality and say, oh, $300, sit alone, okay. No, just please stay home. I know this is difficult, but if we can all do this well, then it will be worthwhile, huh? The comments are so quick that I I have problem reading them. I think I saw a question about whether we're going to have more exercise classes. Yes, Active SG is having a channel, a sports channel. Please check it out. I think we can definitely do with more classes and also local classes that will fit our needs. So please go there. It's it's really Joe Tan, as I mentioned, that law is not meant for individuals because that is a very it's really labor intensive. Imagine that we need assessors to deal with all the tenants that's going to seek relief. Already that's a large number, so it's not meant for freelancers. As I mentioned, freelancers, please go for CERS, please go for projects, please go for training allowances. Yes, there's James has asked question on sports. Can I just do a bit of a marketing here? We're gonna have a live chat for people in the sports sector. That's on 18 April, Saturday. So coming Saturday at 9 p.m. And we hope to take your questions then. Thank you, Jalaluddin, about opening up more channels. I think our MediaCorp is really working very hard. They're trying to boost up local content. And again, I would, encourage proposals from the creative sector. I'll take the suggestion about payment. I understand that some of the companies are facing sort of cash flow problem. They have to pay before they claim. We'll see how to help companies better. So thank you for your suggestion. MOE terminating the contracts. The best way is to write to my colleague Ong Yi Kang. No, I am joking. Of course, you can write to him. But if you like to come through me, I'll be very happy. As I say, my email is grace_full@mccy.gov.sg. Yeah, that's a lot of freelancers trying to claim from the companies. Can I also urge everybody to look at the situation from each other's perspective? I think the companies themselves are also facing problem. The events got cancelled. They have to deal with the cost. So I think it's a lot of give and take. I know that you would like more compensation, but really cash flow is very, very serious now for everyone. So that's the reason why the government is putting cash into the pockets of people, just to make sure that, there's things are going on, that you will not go hungry. But that's really because the situation is serious. Companies are facing cash flow problems. Individuals are facing cash flow. So those who have the ability, those who have the means, please help one another, and also cut each other's slack, okay? Yeah, whether we need to do taxes and contracts and CPF, that's a very good suggestion, Terence Tan. And I really hope that ARH will be the place where you can, get some of these courses. It's so important right now that if we can to put up some of these relevant courses relevant to you, and if you have any suggestions on what will be interesting to you and what will be needed by you, please put in the suggestions now. This is really the time for planning. Plan for kind of training, get the course instructors ready, get the curriculum ready, the content ready, so that when the day counts to zero, we can attend classes straight away. Yeah. Ko Muiti, you like Sam Hui. You're revealing your age. Oh, Go Look Ya. You have received the free mask in the letterbox already. Wow, wonderful. Look at our Mask on Us task force. Yay, well done. Congratulations. You have delivered the mask too. Year-end tax submission never shifts. Year-end closing audit as well. Esther Lee. Oh, I understand that. I used to be an accountant. Yeah, but we are cutting some slack on AGM, as you have already known. I'm sure we will be, a lot more sympathetic. So hang in there. Important work that you're doing, keeping, the accounts, fit and proper. Thank you, Johnny. Anthony, you have a question about elderly. Can I visit them for some daily needs? Actually, the answer is yes, if you have to support them. But I would really urge you to consider the risks to them. Because if you were to visit them on a daily basis or a very frequent basis, actually the risk of infecting them is higher. I mean, just think about it, right? If you visit them once a week versus visiting them 7 times a week, the risk is 7 times higher. So it's really not about law. It's about how you will exercise your wisdom and your judgment in a situation like this, and how do you protect your loved ones. Whether it is to bring daily necessity or to drop off a kid with them for babysitting, every child that sort of moved between two households is the factor of infecting between the two families, and it's just increasing the risk to the family. I mean, someone who suggested that, I have in-laws and parents living nearby, can we just go to each other's house to eat? Look, if you're both down, these two households are down, who's going to look after you during the quarantine period, right? So think about it in that way and ask yourself, what will be the most sensible thing to do, and to reduce the risks to your family to the lowest possible. Tianwen, yes, doing taxes and understanding MediSave, so important, right? So I think this will be one of the first few courses that we will have, and I'm sure it will be bao pang, it will be full. We are quite happy to do that, and we're quite happy to support. And if it's one of the courses that we are organizing, you get paid $10 per hour to attend, and it's our way to encourage everybody to go for courses and upgrade ourselves. Muhammad Ali, how many eggs you have at home? Don't know. I think the last time I bought was 10. So and I think I had laksa today, and my helper must have cooked quite a few. Trying to be cheeky there, huh, Muhammad, huh? Okay. Can ask your cabinet minister to do live. Okay, I can suggest to them. Jean Mark about son doing national service. First of all, it's such an honor to be able to serve and protect the country, particularly in a time like this. I can't see your son, having a better time to become a man. And I'm sure we'll take precautions, but it is also in moments like this that the generation will really be shaped by what we do. If our message to our young people is that, when there are problems, stay at home and protect our young, and not have our youth come out and stand up for the country and protect the people, I think we are sending a very wrong signal. National service is such an important thing for all the young men. I have 3 sons, so I speak with some credibility that it is a life-changing process. And I think not only am I very happy to see their growth and development as a person, they have picked up many, many skills that are very useful to them. And I feel so proud to see them in their uniforms. By the way, Air Force still owe me a photo with my son in his uniform. Autumn, you're talking about a weekly schedule with your healthcare professional. I think this is something you can reach out to them. We are actually very mindful on the need to keep our people well, both physically and socially and emotionally. So if you need help, reach out to some of the social service organizations that are making themselves available. I think the mental well-being, I do not want to underestimate its importance. We are only in the first week, folks, so I think we can all, make the, thumb our chest and say, yeah, lock people up and, make everybody stay at home. But as we have seen in many, many places where they have had prolonged period of lockdown, the psychological needs of the people is something that it's going to creep into the foreground. So I think it's important that we support one another, particularly in this point in time. It's a time of anxiety. It's a time of need for encouragement and positivity. So let us all do our part to support one another. A friend, a relative, say hi a lot. Get connected. This is the best time, right? You can't say that, I'm too busy, I have too many things to do. This is the best time where you can get connected with all your classmates and all your mates from before, whether you have your ex-colleagues, your ex-army mates. Get connected again and just say hi to one another. Yeah, Gabriel Chan, I see your comment, something that we'll take up. Eve is so animated. That's from Marie Yo. That's compliments for you, Eve. Amy Quack, question about how do we know how much landlord should pass back? Well, I think that you can estimate the annual value from the rental. It's a certain percentage, and you can work out what is the expected rental rebates. And if that's very, very far from what you are actually being offered by your landlord, always have a discussion. That law that we have passed is really to enable tenants to basically call their landlords to account, right? And we want to do that because in a situation like this, when cash flow is a serious matter, we call on all the large landlords to do the right thing. All the landlords, not just the large ones, all the landlords to do the right thing and pass on the government's rebates to their tenants. It's so important for us to all do our parts. And I can safely say that when the government passed this piece of legislation, we have every intention to use it. So landlord, please beware that we may come and audit your books to make sure that you do pass the rebates to your tenants. Wei Sheng, you said that how do you claim for relief? Yeah, actually, there is a temporary relief fund that is applicable this month. It's already being paid out. If you have missed that one, you can still apply for it. It's still good now. You can apply online or you can go to a CC. You can always go to your MP. We are not holding MPS sessions. This is the PAP MP. That is, we're not holding MPS session, but we are all have put up alternative ways to contact us. So reach out, send them an email, and there's always some local help that can be extended to you. Nobody should go hungry, and if you really have problem, you let me know. I'll find your MP for you also. Lisa Karen to ask about regular casuals. I take it that you are not formally employed by any companies, and you are basically just paid a sort of a commission or some sort of a payment without being signed on as an employee. So you will be considered a freelancer, and you should, as I mentioned earlier on, look out for the application that is going to be rolled out by NTUC. Go and check out NTUC. As I mentioned earlier, look out for that handsome face of Ng Ching Ming. He has a big banner that speaks to the self-employed persons. Yeah, Nicholas Chu, hi. It is quite a disappointment that we have to postpone the youth action plan, but many of the tracks that has been set up under the youth action challenge, actually it's operating. In fact, I think this particular vertical on mental well-being is so important now. So I actually urge you, if you can, to get your mates together and to look at how the youth can support one another, who could be, especially those who could be facing anxiety and depression. I think you speak better. Youth speaks better to their peers, and I think the support will come in a lot more relevant, because you speak the same language. You are not hung up if your peers know about it. You may not want your parents or you want your teachers to know about your problem, but if your peers are there to support you, I think you'll be a lot more comforted because they understand what you're going through. So I think the youth can do a lot in this period, particularly in the area of mental well-being. Some of you have talked about events being cancelled, events that you have planned, you have rehearsed, you have produced for, say, fundraising dinners, and so I think it's important to perhaps keep an open channel with the organizations, because when they are able to, I'm sure these organizations would continue to require donations and to fundraise. So if they can, have you rendered that service at that time and pay you, that will be a good outcome. I would also say that actually many of these organizations themselves are facing cash flow problems because they depend on donations to keep their operations going. And so I say it is not a case where someone is sitting pretty. And if it is, then I think we should really get that, call that company or that organization to account. But actually, many of us in the social service sector or in the art sector, which rely on donations to fund their operations, to a great extent, I think this is really a time for help. And actually, that's the whole reason why the government has this package for the arts and culture sector, because it is one that deserve and require assistance from us. Vincent asked, why some of the companies deserving of the 25%. I think no companies, with a very few exceptions, are really doing extremely well. I mean, some of them are doing extremely well, but it's a very, very small minority. For even companies, for example, like supermarkets, NTUC, while their business has been steady and it's strong, but the cost to them actually has gone up tremendously. You cannot imagine the kind of instability that they have faced in logistics because they have to replenish so much more. Their staff are working so much harder, and the logistic supply of the goods has been disrupted, first with China and then now with many other countries. So they really have to, go out of their way to get supply reestablished, and the prices of food prices of things are actually fluctuating. So I think even for companies that are operating, the kind of cleaning expenses, everybody has to have their temperature checked, have to have sanitizers. I think everyone is facing higher costs. So it's having a blanket 25% is just a very, very quick way to ensure that government funds go into the corporate sector as quickly as we can without too much of administrative hurdle. If we're going to have way of filing and way of applying for these support, it's going to be really time consuming, and it's just going to delay the funds going into the sector. Mr. Lee CY, another reusable mask for the elderly because they've misplaced it. Yeah, I think that if we have we have access, I'm sure we'll be quite happy to distribute to them. As I said, if you are a resident of Yuhua, we are distributing free masks. Our women folk has sewn some of them. We managed to buy the cloth before the circuit breaker measures, so we are now delivering. And if you are staying in Jurong East, Yuhua, let us know if you need extra masks. Virus, if my girlfriend's sick, can I pack food for her and her mom is old? Can I visit her or not and pack food for her as well? Mr. Sim Chu On. Can I again ask for understand what you're doing here? Your girlfriend is sick. Yes, I can understand that you want to support her. You can buy food for her. Don't visit her. Just put the food outside, leave it there, and then go, right? Because if you are going in, and if you happen to be carrying the virus, you will be infecting two other person, your girlfriend and her elderly mother, which is not a good idea, right? You don't want your future mother-in-law to be infected by you. So please don't, So just keep the food out there at the door and just text her and say the food's there, and then you will be guai, you'll be like number one future son-in-law. Heng Lun, another good suggestion. Yeah, we will look into that. Perhaps we should have some sort of a fair contractual term. Yeah, something that we should look into. But sometimes when that happens, it means that the cash payment to freelancers may be affected. So we have to come to some sort of agreement. What is a fair term? Whether we need to also have some of these money sort of put into insurance or into MediSave. Yeah, John Koo, I just repeated myself. I think I feel like rewinding. That is a question that MOF is looking at, so please give us some time to look at it. Oh, okay. Someone has reminded me that it's already 10 p.m. Okay. I will just quickly glance to see whether there are any other questions. I think Evelyn is really doing very, very well. Thank you so much, Evelyn, for keeping up with my ranting. Michael asked whether the son will need to wear mask in the camp. I don't know. I suppose so. Kiting, I think they're loosening during this period of time. I think some dialect programs being shown now. Terrence, Teng CCKC, about employer forcing us to take leave. Yeah, it's true that some companies are asking the staff to go on no pay. But as I said, we call on employers to be fair. But then again, it's very difficult for us, the government, to decide whether all companies can continue to pay 100%, because actually the situation of each company is quite different. Some companies are really struggling to survive. So I suppose the best way is to have that discussion with the boss, if you can, and come up with some sort of agreement. Maybe the boss wasn't aware that we have this 75% because it's a recent announcement, or maybe really he's having a really bad cash flow situation. But if it's really sitting pretty, no problem, but just don't want to pay, then maybe after this COVID, find another job lah, change employer. Okay, I think yeah, thank you so much. You have been really wonderful, keeping me quite busy and engaged in the last hour or so. I hope that I have covered most of the important points. As I said, we are really here to support the arts and culture sector. ARH is the best place to go for all the freelancers, and look out for announcement by the government on this. And for the arts companies, groups, look out for NAC's announcements on grants. We really want to support you. We really want to see work being continued. We really want to keep the ecosystem going. It's something that it's very important for us. We set up this fund separately for precisely that. So please come forward, give us your suggestions. We'll be happy to listen, and we'll be happy to consider. And keep creating, keep practicing, keep polishing your work. The day for us to enjoy your work again is going to come. But please do all the preparation work now. As I said again, when we go back to normalcy, it's going to be a very gradual process. So the moment that we allow some sort of activity, I really wish that we can get some of the training go on quickly, some of the small groups rehearsals go on quickly, so that we can go back to normalcy as quickly as we can. But we have to do it in a way that's safe and protects everybody, because we definitely do not want to have a reinfection, a second wave of infection. So how do we do it without infection risks? I think is something that we need to think about. And as many of you have mentioned, there are so many things that we can get training on. So don't underestimate the importance of training. How can we prepare ourselves to be even better artists, better musicians, better art practitioners after COVID? I think if we can do that, then we really emerge stronger than before, and then Singapore as a whole will actually be better, more united, and a better place for arts and culture after COVID. So with that, keep safe. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, Evelyn and the ladies in Equal Dreams, and to all the people in the sports sector. 18 April, Saturday, 9 p.m. See you then.